welcome to the very first episode of the Spin Out series. I'm really excited to be bringing this new podcast to our listeners. We're going to be talking about all things in juggling business and working, being a mum, being at home, all of the different things. I can't wait to share all of our fabulous guests with you, and we've got some great content coming up. Today, our very first episode, we are going to be chatting with Kym McManus, who is my recruitment and onboarding manager at the Laundry Lady. She's been with me for 3 or 4 years and is a really valuable member of our team. She's also a homeschooling mum. She's lived in Bali. She's done all kinds of things, and we're going to be unpacking her life at Laundry Lady, what it means to her, as well as how she juggles all of those things and some of the tips that she has around being a working mum to 4 boys. And so I'm really excited to share her story with you today.
Hi everyone, I'm Susan Toft, CEO and founder of the Laundry Lady, and this is our very first podcast coming to you live from our Laundry Lady studio. It's our very new soundproof pod in our office, and we're really excited to be creating this podcast that will be talking all about being in business and juggling it all as a mum or as a business owner, juggling kids, juggling like mental health, juggling all the things that it takes to run a business and be a mum or whatever it is that you're doing. So I'm very excited to have you here. And today I'm welcoming our very first guest, Kym McManus.
Hello. Hey, how exciting. Thank you for having me, Susan.
I'm very excited that you can even be here in person.
I am very excited. It's been a big day to get here today.
It's been a big day. You travelled here just to see me.
Absolutely.
Actually not, but also, yes. So Kym is our recruitment manager here at Laundry Lady, and we thought this would be a great place to start in talking about our podcast because Kym juggles a lot of different things, and we're going to dive into some of those things like homeschooling, being a mum of 4 boys,
yes,
being a footy mum, like living in Bali and juggling work and all of those things.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Welcome to the show,
Thank
Kym.
you. Thank you.
So why don't we start by tell us a bit about what you do at Laundry Lady and about your family and who you are.
So I am Kym. I am a mum of 4 wonderful boys, and while I'm here at the Laundry Lady, I'm the recruitment manager, which is an amazing job. I love it. I get to talk to different people every day.
She's not just saying that.
I'm not just saying that, I promise. I get to talk to lots of different people, mums, dads, business owners, all those sorts of people that are looking for something new to do most of the time, or something that they can do and be mum or dad or the person at home with their children, which for me is really important because that's how I think I landed in this job. I had my youngest son, Austin. He started prep 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago.
Started prep.
So I decided to go back to work. I'd been a full-time stay-at-home mum for a long time, and I was very lucky to be able to do that. And I stumbled upon a Seek ad, which landed me in the Laundry Lady land, which I have been so very grateful for.
What made you attracted to apply for that?
Well, at the time it was local to me, which it no longer is, which is another story. And it was flexible. I was already in a part-time role. It was my first time back at work since having the kids, really. And it was really strict with the hours that I had to be in the office. And I struggled with that, particularly being my baby's first year of school, and it was hard to be at drop-off and hard to be at pick-up and missing sports days of his very first. So that was hard for me to do, and that this role came up, and it was a very flexible lifestyle for work, and it was really aimed at mums, and the line was don't miss another sports day, and for me that was a massive selling point. I remember my interview and I hung up because it was online. And I went into my husband. I'm like, I'm going to give notice to my other job. I don't have the job yet, but I'm going to do it because this is the job I need to have. So,
and it gives me such chills when you say that, because it was literally when I very first started this, it was about not missing all of the things for the kids at school and not missing the sports days. And sometimes I don't love the sports days, and I'd probably be happy to miss those. But, you know, being able to drop them off and pick them up whenever, and
go to assemblies when they get Student of the Week and all those fun things.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, it's like I've been in jobs where you've got to be there.
Yeah.
You've got time watchers, you've got to be there right on the dot. And it's the most awful thing when you're trying to juggle being a mum and working and all of that. And, of course, then you started and you absolutely loved it.
I did. I actually really did. This is actually the longest consistent job I've had since really entering the workforce after school. So, because my husband and I met and then we went overseas and we've done lots of different things. So, it's been 3.5 years I've worked at Laundry Lady, and it's gone from part-time to full-time and soon to be back to probably part-time again. So, honestly, I've been so very grateful for this role, and people sort of are constantly asking me, but how did you get that job? Are there any other jobs there that I can have?
And if you know Kym at all, like, to be in a job for 3.5 years, to have that kind of commitment for Kym is a really big thing. She likes to change her lifestyle quite regularly.
I do.
So let's talk about that, because you have changed just been within this job quite a lot as well, because like you said, when you first applied, it was, you know, just local to you on the Sunshine Coast, and now you live in Victoria.
I do. I live in Victoria. So, I started the role, and then I went to Victoria. Did I?
I can't remember when you went there.
I can't, but I
think you were here for a couple of years.
I was here for a while, I started working from home. So I was in the office sort of a little bit and at home a little bit, and then I went to working from home pretty much full-time, which allowed me to do full-time hours because I could, you know, I wasn't even just doing the drive in and out of work and those things. So, because we were lucky to live opposite the school, which was handy. And then we decided to move to Melbourne, and that was fantastic. So I moved down there, and we spent a little while in Victoria. And then
I don't think it was even a question of can you go to Victoria.
I did call and say,
oh yeah, she did ask for permission.
No, I thought I was like, how would it feel if I lived in Melbourne?
So we have this real work from anywhere kind of approach, right? And we've built the business very much to be able to support that by doing everything online, you know, having our team meetings online, all of our reporting, all of the tech tools that we can have be online so that we can do that. And then, so you were in Melbourne for a while, and then all of a sudden you were somewhere else. Where did you go next?
So we decided for a complete different lifestyle change, and we moved to Bali. So the plan was to spend 12 months minimum in Bali. So we did get ourselves 2-year visas to live there for 2 years.
And how long did you stay there, Kym?
We spent 3 months in Bali.
So is it fair to say it wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be? There was some challenges.
There were some. Yeah, absolutely. There were some challenges. It was fantastic. It was a lot more expensive than what we initially thought to live.
So I hadn't been back to Bali for
6 years.
6 years.
It had been a really long time. So
before COVID.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So, I mean, and we weren't going over to save money by any means, but, you know, going back this time, we also had 2 teenage boys that were 14 and 16, and they are
Which is a
men.
whole different energy. In
Yeah, it is. And they eat like 2 more adults also. So that's a lot. It was fabulous, and it's something that I will never regret that we did. And we can say that we tried it and it was fantastic. I'd still love to go back to Bali on holidays, and I have been back again since just mum and dad holiday. And also on the forefront of that, our boys really wanted to come back to play football this year. And
because you are all footy mad. So,
they are. Yeah. My boys are all absolutely football mad.
Plus you missed your puppy dog who I was babysitting for that period of time.
I really missed my little fluffy friend, and he was living with second mum Susan. things.
We didn't want to part with him. We wanted him to stay longer.
Yeah.
We also wanted you to come back.
Yes.
So all good.
So we came back. We had sold our properties in Australia also. So we came back and didn't actually have anywhere to live. So
and then you decided what you were going to live in when you came back.
A caravan. And we did. We actually spent more time in our caravan than what we spent in Bali. So we've just recently moved 2 weeks ago.
I haven't even caught up with you since you've moved.
Yeah, no, so we now live in a house on 20 acres.
So what's happened to the caravan?
We've still got it, but it will get sold. We'll downgrade that too because it's huge. It's got 4 bunks and a queen size bed and toilet and shower.
We did have plans to paint it pink and take it on a recruitment roadshow.
Yeah. Well, that was the next plan. It was either do we get a house or do we go tripping in the caravan, and I'll just work from the caravan. But we have decided to settle for at least 12 months. Like we have just signed a 12-month lease, but we have also broken leases in the past. So no, but we've had 6 sheep delivered yesterday, which I haven't told you about, and we have 6 chickens.
What is it going to do with the sheep? Are you going to shear them and start making jumpers? Or
one is probably going to be Christmas lunch.
Sorry.
And then we've got chickens and their eggs. So because my boys homeschool, it is also now part of their school to raise and look after the animals on the farm. So this is something Mark and I have wanted to do since before we've had children, was to be a little bit more self-sufficient, and grow and eat our own things. So
what I love so much about all of these stories is that Kym is the ultimate hippie nomad. And what I really love is that our business has been able to be supportive in that, and that, it has been, because that was always my dream, to have something really, really flexible, and to have that, not only for the contractors who join us, but also in our head office. And that's a really important value of our business, and I think is part of what has made us really successful. Yes. And so, the fact that you are living that to the ultimate just makes me so happy.
I am, and we're forever grateful. That we're. I think
our ops manager gets a little stressed sometimes about it, but
about where I'm going
to. We like to support it, and so let's talk about homeschooling. You just mentioned that you're homeschooling your boys.
Yeah.
And now I personally could not think of anything more mad than homeschooling. I also have 2 boys, and they are a handful, and they would not listen to a word I said if I was trying to homeschool them. So what makes you want to homeschool? Because I know a lot of our contractors are also homeschooling mums. So let's talk about why you would want to do that and how you manage that.
Yep. So when we decided to move to Bali, it came with that. It came with moving to Bali because we didn't want to enroll the boys into an international school.
And you homeschooled before?
We did distance education when we travelled before my Laundry Lady days. We lived in Darwin and spent 4 months in Swags down the west coast of Australia. So that was fantastic. And we did distance ed then, which led into then COVID. So we were in a really good position during COVID with schooling because our kids were already doing distance education, so they're all remote learning, so that was fine. And I wasn't working at that point, and I really loved it. I loved knowing where the kids were at and where I could help them, and understanding how they all learnt completely differently. Like they've been raised in the same household, but they're 4 very different little people. And just also seeing what else we can do in our day that isn't revolving around 6 hours of school time, so drop-offs and pick-ups and all of that kind of stuff. So
you get your day done really quick.
That's right. Yeah,
a lot of the 6 hours of school is just babysitting.
Yeah, it really is. And even just setting up and packing down for classes. So, if the kids are doing maths and they're on a roll, they can do a whole week's worth of maths in a day, and then, not have to worry about that. Or if it's something that they're getting a block on, they can move on to something else in their own time. And they all absolutely learn very differently. So our eldest is in year 11. He is our academic. And so he's doing incredibly well. Best grades I think he's ever had in any of the schools he's been to, and he's been to a couple. And he is very independent. So I actually don't, he's doing forensics and chemistry and biology and things that I cannot help him with. So, he's got all the tools for all of that himself, and he's doing really well. It's probably my smaller two that, you know, need my assistance or Mark's assistance a bit more. So Mark's taken 12 months off. He's just gone back to work. He had been homeschool dad, which was really, I think, important for him and the boys to have that time together because he's always worked so much. So
now he's handing that hat back.
Yes, he is. He's off to work every day, which is hence me dropping my hours back again. So I've got that time. And I must admit, I have been very jealous of the time that Mark gets to spend with the kids, and I realise I'm potentially a little bit of a micromanager when it comes to that because he doesn't quite do it right. So that'll be fun to do. But yeah, so
how do you get your poor boys to listen to you and do the work? Because that's my biggest problem. They will just be like, oh, but we'll just play PlayStation. Yeah. So how do you actually get them to concentrate?
We have actually tried lots of different things because some days are easier than others. So we do have a bit of a schedule, timetable that we try and stick to. Sometimes it's very weather dependent. So if it's really nice outside, then they will get on their motorbikes and go and do it. But you've got to have a certain amount done before you can go and do that thing, those sorts of things. So they're pretty good with being able to manage that. At the moment, it is a struggle while I'm working and Mark's working because there isn't someone there to really watch over them all of the time, and that can be difficult. Rainy days, we tend to buckle down and do a bit more. So then on the good days, we've got extra time to do things we want to do.
And is your food bill just enormous because they're at home and they're just eating constant?
They do. It's actually also made them really independent in that they make their own lunches, you know.
Because that's the worst in the holidays when they're at home and they're just constantly, can you make me this? Yeah. Can you make me that?
Yeah. I think it's probably made them quite independent, actually. And the fact that I have been working has made them have to, Austin is 9 and he will make me lunch some days. He'll bring me in a lovely little sandwich or something.
I'm going to exchange my children with your boys.
Look, and I'm actually pretty blessed with my boys. Like they are, they certainly test my limits, and I have often had to put on the team meeting on mute and tell them all to leave my office space because they sometimes are like, oh no, it's just Susan.
It's just Susan. It doesn't matter.
Susan, your boss. So, hey Susan, how are you?
Sometimes they just join the chat.
Yeah, they do sometimes. So, but look, it is.
But I love that we can normalise that because there's a lot of workplaces that is not normal. And I worked in corporate organisations for many years where I also worked from home, and I had to pretend like there was no other life happening at home. And I just think we're really evolved from that, particularly post-COVID, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I know a lot of workplaces are pulling people back to the office, which I kind of just think is crazy. You know, I think you've got to be able to let go of that control and let people, understand what the business is doing and be their own boss of their own time.
And look, I think that I know how lucky I am to have this role. So when I am working, I'm working hard and I'm giving everything that I've got. So because I know that for me to try and find another role like this would be near impossible.
You would never.
I would never leave you, ever. Never, ever. Part of the furniture.
She even said when she first joined that she hated wearing pink. And
I actually had no pink.
Now she definitely wears some pink.
I have so much pink. I didn't wear any today because I knew the background was pink and I'd just blend in. So... But it is actually disturbing how much pink hangs in my cupboard now.
But how do you stop them from fighting each other when they're homeschooling and doing their stuff?
I don't know. They certainly do. By all means, my kids are far from perfect. They definitely fight and argue and all those things. But we've actually just given Maddox the role at the moment until I do drop my hours to tutor Austin, who is the youngest. So, and the patience that he has with him is incredible. If I'd asked him to do that work with Fraser, who is 12, would probably not work out the same. So
that's the same gap as mine. Yeah. They just fully fight each other.
Yeah, there is definitely...
There's a new little hole in my wall from a footy boot, which he waited until I was really sick on my deathbed almost to come and tell me. There's a little hole in the wall from the foot boot. Oh, my goodness. So, but that little extra bit of gap is...
It does. So, Maddox is looking after Austin. Bentley's in grade 8. He's quite independent. So, when we did it previously, it was more where I would deliver a lesson. So, this time we're doing it, we're actually using a program called Yuka, which is a homeschooling and they supply you the curriculum. So the kids work their way through that. If it doesn't work for your children, you can change it. But so far, it's been really, really good. So it's sort of, it's homeschooling, but I'm not doing all of the things either. So I don't know how I would go with coming up with curriculum, particularly not for a year 11 student.
Do you think you could have been a teacher?
Absolutely not. Do you know, I did actually want to be a teacher. That was probably the one thing that I thought that I might do. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do when I grow up, but I did think at one point I would be a teacher, but no, not anymore. I think schools there's so many people leaning away from schools because there's so much you don't have to anymore, and that hopefully there's more roles and jobs like this that support parents being able to parent still.
Yeah, and look, I take my hat off to you because I could definitely not homeschool, but I do also feel like my boys probably aren't in the right spot.
Yeah,
in public school, and I don't think that it's super set up for boys who are particularly active and don't love sitting and doing the schoolwork, and they try hard, but they're my eldest has actually moved into a trade school this year, which has been really great for him because it's much more focused on education that's around business.
Yes.
And then going out and doing work experience in real places, which is thriving in that environment. He's gone from a D student to a B student.
Yeah, perfect.
Which is amazing. But, that wasn't available to him until he was in year 10.
Yeah.
I get my year 5er is definitely struggling with the school environment, but
it's really hard. It is really hard. And I mean, we're lucky that the question a lot that we get from people that know that we're homeschooling is, but what about the social side? So because our kids have been to school and they're really involved in football and different things like that, it's not even an iota of worry for me is the social side of things. In fact, they're quite social little butterflies. I had 8 boys sleep over, including my own, on Friday night. So it was...
That's a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of children.
I mean, you talk about the social side of things at school, but I have to say my 2 hate all of that stuff at school. They hate the sports days. They hate all the athletics carnivals and things like that, even though they're sporty.
Yeah.
Whereas, when I was at school, and I don't know if this was just being a girl or if it was just the time, but I used to love all of that stuff. I would be so involved in all of the things, and mine just seemed to hate that.
Mine were really disappointed now because, apart from Maddox, who is quite academic, the others they're very intelligent young people, but the academics isn't their thing. So when it came to sports days, particularly for high school now, there was no competition. So this was a day that my kids could be the A student, and there weren't even first, second, third places on their sports days anymore. So that was a struggle for us, being a really sporty family. And
you are an AFL family.
We are.
That's why Victoria.
That's right.
It's your...
It is. It's where we are now. That's right. Exactly. So we are in finals. I was at a final yesterday afternoon, which unfortunately was the first one. We've got a second chance next week. So that's exciting. And so my 2 oldest boys are in finals this year. The littler 2, Austin doesn't do them yet in under-9s, and Fraser's team unfortunately didn't make it there. But they've all had incredible years, and we sort of said to them, if we come home from Bali, we really want to see you give it a red hot go. And I can 100% say they have all done that. I'm so proud of them all this year.
I don't know how you juggle 4 boys.
It's a lot.
I struggle with both of mine were doing footy this year, and that was 2 nights each a week of training, and then games on Friday night and Saturday. I just felt like we were constantly...
The Tuesday was our day off. Tuesday was literally the only day that I was not at the football club. So same deal. The 2 older ones train twice a week, and the younger 2 train only once a week. But they crossed over everywhere. So, some days we were there from 4:30 to 8:30 at night.
And so what do you do for dinner on those nights?
My slow cooker is my absolute best friend.
So not Macca's drive-through, which would that would be my...
I can't afford it. They honestly, they're one of those boxes everyone we go through. So
organised to get the slow cooker right.
Yeah, look, and that's part of homeschool. That's their job. That's some of the jobs that the boys have to do during the day. Yeah, they'll get dinner organised.
I need to just send my boys to Kym boot camp for...
I actually said to Mark the other day when we moved out there, I'm like, I'd love to have a boy for a school for boys or a camp for boys where they come out and learn to be
I will send you mine
cut
to
firewood and change tyres and
All the boys.
I don't know how to do those things, but I'm sure I could teach them how to do it. So then they can do it for me. But, look, they're all pretty good. They're all very self-sufficient. But, yeah, it is. There's a fair bit of planning that goes in and around it. We're like, right, tonight's this night and we're going to be late home and,
What's your best slow cooker meal? What's your fave?
Oh, I probably love it's like a corned beef in there, and it's like the easiest one that I do, and the boys all love it. It's so funny because I read so many memes that like mum's got a slow cooker and the kids like, oh no, but my boys love it unless they just say that to me. But I think they do. There's never leftovers, so or we do a good air fryer footy food night where it's just which is probably our version of Macca's. Yeah, it's my favourite. Like one died not long ago, so we had to.
I honestly don't think I've used my slow cooker all winter. So I feel a bit sad now that you are highlighting that for me, and I'm going to have to go home and start at least once before winter's over.
Honestly, we actually have two now.
We have a Thermomix, so we tend to use that a lot more. Although lately we haven't really been cooking that either. We've been smoothies.
It's too cold for that. I can't.
It's a bit warmer in Queensland.
Yeah.
We've been doing HelloFresh. That's been our our saving grace this year because it's the shopping and the meal planning that I struggle with more than the actual cooking and deciding to cook.
I think that's my biggest. It's the deciding. I hate deciding each week, and then you feel like that you just eat the same 10 meals on rotation. So.
I do feel like HelloFresh for us has been really good because it gives us the options. We've been having a lot more different meals, meals that I would think that the kids would never eat, that they are like, this is delicious. And very occasionally, and when I say very occasionally, they might actually help and make one of those meals.
Oh, that's good.
On a very rare occasion.
Yeah. Well, one of our jobs is get prep dinner on the morning. Like every morning I write up on the fridge. The fridge is my whiteboard and it's Wednesday jobs.
Broken his wrist and then broken his finger in two places throughout this year. So he's always had an excuse for not cooking because he's injured. So, yes.
That's fair. But it's busy. Next year I have also said that I would potentially help out on the committee a little bit further with football, just to throw a bit more free time that I don't have into the mix. So,
and so,
I'm there anyway. I know.
And so you're talking to our new contractors who are coming into the team.
Yep.
You're the first point of call, really. Your team before they're on board with us.
Yeah.
And so, what is it about Laundry Lady that's attracting them to the business?
The flexibility, without a doubt, is what is the first thing. It's one of the first questions we ask people when they come and meet the recruitment team. Is what is it about Laundry Lady that's made you interested in joining the team? And it's 100% flexibility, being able to, whether it is children or another job that they're supplementing their income with cost of living and
their elderly parents
absolutely,
children who need special needs or
absolutely,
all sorts of things.
And there's been a huge influx, I feel like, this year of parents that are homeschooling their children and for they're homeschooling their children for huge amounts of reasons. So, it's always really nice we always have that conversation that, we're doing the same, and often there'll be little friends that pop into the meetings and the onboardings with their mums or dads and come in and say hello, and it's, it's just really nice that
part of it.
It really is, so, it's the flexibility of the Laundry Lady and across from, like you said, head office staff all the way through to contractors is amazing.
And that just makes me so happy because that is literally what this whole business was always about. It wasn't really about laundry ever. It was just about flexibility and being able to, firstly I was trying to create that for myself, but then, being able to offer that to other people. And that's something I'm super passionate about. And I think all of us here are very passionate about and what we will continue to make sure happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I've got lots of people that I've met down in Melbourne that are on the lookout to come on board as contractors, or they're like, could you just let me know when a head office job comes up? I'm like, oh, maybe.
Well, it's been so good to have you here, Kym, and to chat on our very first show.
I know, and in person.
Yes, and in person in our new pod. So if you have questions about homeschooling or about Laundry Lady or anything about juggling home and business and all of that, then make sure you write in and tell us, and we'll
Absolutely.
be, tackling all sorts of different topics in the weeks and months to come, and we might even get Kym back at some
Who knows?
point. So
Absolutely. Any excuse to come back.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Welcome back to my channel.
She's going to play that bit at the end.